Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm your good friend. I'm Mr. T. It's tea time with Mr. T. And I will be reviewing a 1996 Zhuan from West China Tea Company. I have a new guy one now. It's smaller than what I didn't read carefully enough, and it's didn't read carefully enough, and it's smaller on the inside than what I figured it would be. It's smaller. It has less in there than what I figured it would be. Less space. See, apparently it's supposed to be 100 milliliters, but that's all the way up to the brim. Whereas below the lid, or wherever it would be comfortable to put, comfortable level to put water up to, equals about 75 to 80. So it's a smaller one. Make sure everything's heated up here. A lot of broken leaves in this, so I'm going to be using my filter. I'm going to give this a minute to heat up the leaves a little bit so I can get a good smell of them. Also, I have new cups. Yunnan Sourcing. It says Yunnan Sourcing, the ultimate pu'er tea source. Let's get this back in here. Let's get this heating up again. Forgot my gotta get my phone, my timer set up. Also, if you hear music playing in the background, that's my dad brother listening to music. Give me just a second here. I'm hoping this one won't be extra bitter because of the brokenness of it. Let's see, dry leaves. Some sugary notes. Caramelized sugar, and there's something else. This is the second oldest tea that I own. The next oldest one I would say that I have is the Guyu Cha that he sells. It's from early 90s, I think. Brown sugar. Mushroomy. Let me get a smell of the satchel it came in. Musty. Not in a bad way though, it's more earthy than anything else. Like an earthy must, like an old, maybe an old book. Let's get this rinsed. Brewing at 210 degrees. Two rinses on this one because it's older. It brews very dark, almost black. Very dark brown, and that's just a rinse. But again, there's a lot of dust in here, so it could be that too. Brown sugar. Feed my piggies. And get this back in here. Kind of. Like I said, a lot of dust in here. I'll take a sip of this one. What I'm getting, it's kind of buttery. Sweet. Kind of mushroomy. Wet leaves here. Let's get a smell of these. Oh, this is different than any other Zhuan I've had. Wood pencil, pencil shavings. Wood, must, earth. Something like clay, maybe mushroom. This will probably be a fast video because of the size of my Zhuan. This cup is 55 milliliters. And you can see now it's very dark brown red, almost black. Let's get into our, reheat our water, and we'll get into our first steeping. I've kind of gotten to the habit of, sorry, that's a message on Facebook. I've kind of gotten into the habit of leaving the lid, the top off my Zhuan. Is that a crack already? No, that's hair. Let me, well, I better not. I don't know how to react. Let's get into our first steeping here. I'm going to brew this first one for 15 seconds. I just got this stuff in yesterday. It's very comfortable, very ergonomic. It's growing on me, even though it's small size. Let me do the back pour. I don't like, I kind of leave the lid off for most teas now because I don't want it to develop any kind of weird stewed notes, like steamed notes. Yeah, that's weird. Pencil shavings. Mushroom. Interesting. And the tea color is about the same. It seems to have cleared up a little bit. Brown sugar. Very sweet, like vanilla almost. Interesting. Let's try this. Slight bit of bitterness, but I think that might be because of the how much dust was in here. wood shavings. It's like medicinal bitterness. Reminds me a little bit of a aged shung, whatever. Something kind of like a wet storage or humid storage characteristic. At least to me, it's got that same kind of mustiness to it. This is brew number 1. Oh, speaking of which, I have something in here to help me keep track if I can find it. I think it's in here. It should be. Oh my god. That's not. Oh, I had a little clicker thing. Please ignore the Facebook messages. Not much I can do about that. Thick. Something kind of like a shung and a shoe kind of smell to it. Let me mute this just in case, to keep the things from happening. This next one will be 20 seconds. Got this stuff in yesterday, and the teaware and some other teas, but I've had this sample for a few weeks now. A little bit of a bitter aftertaste, lingering aftertaste. Color of the leaves is dark. There's some greener leaves in there. So there definitely is a little bit of greenness to this. Even with it being at 96 from 96. See, it has some of those wet storage characteristics, but I don't think it's had any kind of humid storage. The color is lightening. It's deeper reddish brown, sorry. Sometimes I get my words mixed up. Let's see here. Let's try this one. It's number 2. Humid note is still there. Very warming. Earth. Cooling. Maybe something like vanilla. Medicinal bitter edge. I'm getting that a lot. But like I said, that could be just because of this sample. It's got this baker's chocolate, vanilla kind of note. Just a little tiny hint of sweetness of Huygon. Just a little bit left in here. I'm getting that baker's chocolate note. Got the slight bitterness. But the bitterness of this is more of a medicinal bitterness. It's going to be number 3. 4 left to go. Color is definitely starting to lighten. It's like a copper color now. Bronze maybe. Probably more like copper than bronze. Yeah, still wood shavings. It's some kind of citrus maybe. Yeah, that caramelized sugar note on the lid of the guy one. Some teas, if it's like they're hardly compressed, I'll leave it in there. See, it's a golden brown now. A little copper tinge to it. Cup's a little hot. That should be expected, I guess. I'm starting to kind of get the more traditional notes associated with Zhuan. Starting to get those. Bitterness is starting to fade. Still a little bit there. A little bit of hint of more of a chocolate, baker's chocolate kind of bitterness. Mushroomy a little bit. Not quite overpoweringly mushroomy. Let's get this water heated back up here. A little bits of dust in that one. I don't have anything in there, maybe. Darn. Should be done right now. This is decent stuff. Wonder what the price on a brick for this is. For a brick of this is. Or if it comes from Sohan's personal stash. Not really interested in buying a brick, but I'd like to know the price because of the age. There we go. Now it's a nice golden color, like I'm used to. Clay. mushroom, sugar. Brothy. Kind of getting some of those notes that are associated with shoe. Sorry. Kind of want to say a wet pile taste, but not exactly. I'm definitely getting the bittersweet chocolate that a lot of shoe has. Some brothiness, some brothy mushroomy notes. Clay notes. Little minerally. I'm assuming that clay can be a manifestation of minerality. Strangely enough, there's something vaguely floral about this. This one will be 35 seconds. If you have this tea or a Zhuan, feel free to drink with me. I don't think very many people have this tea. If you do have this tea, please get a hold of me, message in the comments, and we can trade notes. Spicy, like cinnamon and anise. With some sweetness, like cinnamon toast maybe. And the liquor is a nice amber color now. Honey notes of honey, I guess that's what, caramelized honey maybe? Smoked honey? Who knows? Something like that. Sweetness is starting to come out a little bit more. That dark chocolate note is still pretty present. Not quite something that I'd like to continue on in a tea. I kind of like that to fade out a little bit. Earthiness is still there. So is the humid storage notes are still there. The damp storage, I guess you could call it. Something like an oolong in here, like a green oolong. Maybe maybe that's what the floral note. Maybe that's the note that I'm getting. I may be getting confused for floral notes. I guess you could say there's something still a little green about it. Sorry about the quality of my camera. I don't have anything better. Somebody brought that up last video I posted. $40 this time. Second to last steep. Some foam on this tee, not a whole lot. Sorry for not talking too much, I'm feeling rather contemplative today. I don't really have much to say, other than about the tee. Couple shakes. Shake it more. Never mind, I won't use that joke. Those kind of jokes are beyond me. Yeah, it's got hints of, I guess you could call it a wet pile taste, but the smell, but it's not like, it's like it's not like a unpleasant kind of thing though. The chocolate is still there. Savory. The back of the throat. Bracing almost. The chi on this one is calming. The sweetness kind of sticks to your teeth in the front. It's kind of like a mix of a mellow shoe and a aged shin. Like maybe a little bit of humid storage to it. This next steeping will be my last steeping of this tea, and then I will let you all go and go about your day. Again, if you have this tea, please feel free to drink with me. If you don't have it, if you like this, what I described of this tea, get a hold of Sohan Fan on Facebook, and he will hook you up. He doesn't have any of these on his website yet that I'm aware of, so you'll have to private message him for these ones. I got these as a sample. This little guy one is starting to grow on me though. I mean, just a little bit. It's not quite what I wanted, but it works just fine for what it is. Now the liquor is a golden color. pencil shavings in that last steep. Steep number 7. Golden brown, as you can see right here. Feed my piggies a little bit more. What do you notice still there? That chocolate note, it turns into some kind of sweetness after a couple seconds. No fishiness or nothing like that. So when I say wet pile taste, I don't mean anything like fishiness or nothing like that. It's hard to describe. Still a little bit of green note to it. Freshness, even though it's from 96. Very interesting. Not really getting much from the empty guy one. I mean empty Gongdao Bay, sorry. Not so much from the cup either. Final thoughts? I would probably buy this tea again if the price was right. 7 out of 10. A little bit higher quality than your average Zhuan. Complex as far as this kind of tea goes. Worth buying. I think you should get a hold of them and pick some of this up. Well, this has been Tea Time with Mr. T. May you find peace, serenity, and happiness in your tea and Gong Fu Cha, if you brew like that. May you find happiness and peace in tea. See you all later next week.